I'm Shirley, the herb lady from Alaska. Comfrey. Comfrey is a member of the borage family. Comfrey is a medical plant and also grown to feed animals. In England, it feeds racehorses, zoo animals, such as giraffes, who needs a lot of vegetable protein. In Greek, the physicians who traveled with the army of Alexander the Great on his campaigns to conquer the world, they used comfrey. They used it for over 2,000 years. The reference is to ability of comfrey is to knit the flesh together. And if you're in the army, you want that flesh to be knitted together. It also has the property of multiplying healthy cells and not letting bad cells to grow. Anything that's got bad to with wounds and fractures. Monks grew in the gardens and helped the sick people of the village with bronchitis and injuries. In 1568, comfrey root was used as a tea for those who were spitting up blood. It were known for gluing together their wounds. Culpeper used comfrey root for blood in the urine to help congestion. People spit up phlegm from the lungs and broken bones, hemorrhoids. James Grant was the first one to cultivate comfrey. In England, as a crop for animals, he increased the weight of the crop by constantly cutting the plant and stimulating the root with water spray. In 1800, was growing by the ton in England, Scotland, and Ireland. Some early records reported that it yielded 31 tons per acre. Because what you do, you don't let it grow tall. It starts growing, you cut it off. And you see, you can eat that. And then you go, and then it gets wide instead of tall. And when it gets wide, it gets more leaves on it, and you get more per ton. Henry Doubleday, a Quaker who invented the postage stamp glue, was running out of gum for his formula. He read an article that comfrey was in the Royal Agriculture Journal in 1871. It contains the word mucilus, which led him to believe that the plant could be used to manufacture glue. He sent away to the gardener at Petersburg for some comfrey plants. He sent Doubleday the strain proven very hardy and yield 100 to 120 tons per acre. Doubleday fed the comfrey to his 3 cows and pony. He harvested 160 pounds a day. Henry spent the last of his life growing comfrey, for his dream was to feed the hungry world. After he experienced the pains of the Irish potato famine, he wanted to find a crop that the world would help mankind. Henry never displayed if he used it for the glue on his postage stamps. You could actually live on comfrey. It's high in protein and calcium. According to Hills, comfrey is the fastest growing builder of vegetable protein. The amount of protein obtained from the acre of comfrey is nearly 20 times more than soybeans. So comfrey is a really good, but it also pulls toxins out, and that's where you have to watch it. It is one of the few plants that can extract B12 from the soil and vitamin A from the soil. Fresh comfrey in salads with green vegetables. Comfrey may save lives when you cannot get any other food. It should be grown in every garden. A good drink is made in the blender with fresh comfrey, pineapple juice, and a little bit of peppermint, and this nourishes as well as heals. A person suffering from asthma, chronic acute breathing, just stop to drink that. During the winter, dried comfrey, make a tea. Samuel Thomas in the 1900s, physician, when he was 9 years old, had an injury in his foot on a piece. He had injured his foot on a piece of farm equipment. The wound was slowly healed, and the physicians tried everything, and they could not get the wound to heal. the wound grew worse, and to the point where the foot was going to be amputated if it didn't heal. Samuel Thompson asked his father to obtain some comfrey that was grown in a bandit encampment left by the German soldiers during the latter half of 18th century. Improvement to the wound eventually healed and came after several comfrey poultices were applied to the fur. When one element in the herb is isolated and extracted and often remains a deadly poison in the other class, the doctor said the whole herb has a buffer in it that the body doesn't need. The herb will benefit. So comfrey is real good for knitting and healing, but it also pulls poison out, and you have to be careful, because if you got a lot of poison in your liver, it might be too much poison at one time it's pulling out. It's doing its job. It's just that a lot of times we eat way too much junk food. Professor Thomas, president of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, Thomas recorded a case of a man who had malignant tumor on his face. The patient had undergone surgery to remove the cancer. A month later, the cancer returned. Why? He did not change his eating habits. They gave up on cutting it out again. He had gone too far and sent him home. 3 months later, he returned to Thomas and was examined. Thomas noted that the cancer was completely disappeared. The patient told Dr. Thomas that he had been applying comfrey to the swelling and that it gradually disappeared. McAstis began to wonder if comfrey would control stabilized cell growth. His investigation by Dr. Oster spoke of comfrey to be a healer of the wound and ulcers and a knitter of the flesh, sinew, and bone. Alum is used to moisturize and to treat dry and rough skin and itchy skin. One reason, because it isolates, and as a healer becomes a missing element, such as with vitamins. These things may act as a catalyst to bring balance and elements of the body necessary for health. I have people, when I sell comfrey to them, I make them promise to me that they will just soak their feet in it. And when they do, their body starts healing, because they soak it and they get it up through the bottom of their feet. Comfrey is used for ulcers, cancer, hemorrhage, wounds, torn ligaments, ruptured, broken bones, and respiratory disorders. Comfrey helps with wounds, sore throat, toothaches, and bruises. Comfrey is like sunlight. The plant will bush out and grow real tall, but when you cut it and keep cutting it down, it gets real bushy, and then you get all these leaves, and you get much more. Old comfrey leaves are high in potassium, and it makes good compost. In Salt Lake, comfrey growers state that she collects comfrey between 5 and 6 in the evening, when the healing properties are the most concentrated. Some others just water them and pick the leaves. Roots can grow down all the way to 10 feet. And see, deeper the root grows, more minerals it pulls out of the plant. See, that's inorganic minerals. But when it goes into the plant and the sun works with the green plant, it makes it organic minerals. And the roots grow down 10 feet, pulling all the minerals out of the soil. And we have something that's called golden salve. It has olive oil, and the second thing it's got in it is comfrey leaf. And this stuff, you can put it on your face. You can put it on any sore, and it heals. My husband has these sores that I have to, it's sores from chemicals that he was sprayed when he was in Vietnam. And we put this herb on, and it goes down and finds the root of it, and then it makes a big hole. And then afterwards, I put comfrey over it, and it only ends up with a little teeny scar. And I've done it on his head at least 14 times. So all I know is we use a lot of comfrey salve, and it works wonderfully. I hope you got something from this. I hope you enjoy it, and have a great day.